Welcome back to the Sustainably Tidy podcast, where I help you get organized in a way that is sustainable for both you and the planet. Thanks for tuning in. Today's episode is going to be a little bit different because I'm actually going to put the different concepts we've been talking about into practice on camera for you guys. So I've talked to you a lot about how to get organized, why it's important to get organized, decluttering, the process of getting organized. And now I'm actually going to just show you what the process looks like on my closet. So you might be thinking, aren't you a home organizer? Isn't your space already organized? And the answer is yes, my closet is fairly organized. You're going to see it in a minute, but I, like everyone, have things that come up in life that require me to reevaluate my space. I am not exempt from that just because I'm a home organizer. And so, what has happened for me are a few things that are really prompting me to do a full purge, reorg of my closet. The first thing is I've really been going through like a style metamorphosis, is what I would call it. My sister is like a style queen, and she's really inspired me to like actually pay attention to my style. And I used to love fashion and I would be super into it, but I feel like over the years I've not poured into that part of myself. And so I'm trying to get back to that. I'm trying to really get back to that. And as I have, I've realized a lot of the stuff in my closet, because I don't really buy a lot of stuff, a lot of the stuff in my closet were things that I loved at some point, but they were not things that currently fit my style. So I wasn't really enjoying wearing them. I didn't love them anymore. I used to, but I didn't love them anymore. So I was like, okay, we need to really do a purge, get rid of things that are not really our style anymore. The second reason is because I have recently purchased some items for my closet to fit my new style, my rediscovered style. And I want to stay within the same closet footprint. I'm going to show you guys what that is, but I want to stay within the same closet clothing footprint. So I don't have space to add stuff without getting rid of stuff. So I'm going to get rid of stuff to make room for my new stuff. So let's get into it. All right, this is my closet. I think this is the best way to show you guys. I am standing in the doorway of my closet, about to enter in. I love my closet space, not because it stores all of my pretty shoes, but mainly because it doubles as my workout space. So on the left side of my closet, I have none other than my beloved Peloton bike. That's right, I Peloton in my closet. And you might think this is a little different place to have a Peloton bike, but I live in a one-bedroom apartment and I didn't really have another place to put it. I also wasn't really using most of my closet space, as you can see here, so it became the perfect place for me to store my Peloton bike. I love to hop on the bike in the morning with my favorite coach, Alex Toussaint, and get a nice workout in. And I also have a yoga mat that I will use to do my post-ride stretches. So this is a great benefit of living with less. If I had clothing throughout my closet, I would not be able to put my Peloton bike in here. So this also really forces me to be disciplined about keeping everything else on the right side of the closet. So all of my shoes, bags, and clothing fits on this side of the closet. So when I was talking about keeping a closet footprint, this is what I was talking about. I constrain myself to only keeping the amount of items that can fit on this side of the closet. As you can see here, I have plenty of space for all of the clothes that I want to keep, as well as shoes and purses. Anytime there are open shelves, I'm infamous for using them for shoes and bags and other items that frequently end up on the floor. I've found that putting shoes and bags on these open shelves helps to maintain organization long term because, as you probably know, when they sit on the floor, they become pretty jumbled up and unorganized. So, anytime I feel like I cannot fit things very easily on this part of the closet, it's an indicator to me that it is time to do a declutter, do a purge, and reorganize the space. So that is what we are going to do today. I've actually taken all of my clothing off of the closet hangers or closet rack rather. I'm now going to actually go through all of my items and start the decluttering process. I'm going to use my bed to do that because I like to have space to work, and as you saw, my closet is not like the most large space. It's a pretty good size, but not to where I can really go through items like I want. So now what you're about to see is me actually going through every single item, and putting things into piles of I want to keep this, I definitely don't want this, and also a maybe pile for me to come back to. So these are all of the items that I'm going to be getting rid of today as part of the closet purge. I definitely loved and wore many of these items at various points of my life, but they are not serving me anymore. So I am going to go ahead and donate them. Now, before I do though, I want to talk about the rationale for why I'm getting rid of a few of the items because I believe the rationale may be relevant for many of you. So this is the first thing I'm going to talk about. These shorts I loved. I wore them all the time. But I recently purchased a pair of shorts that are black that I quite frankly like better than these. And so instead of keeping two items that serve the same purpose, I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of this one because I like it the least. So anytime we have items that serve the same or a very similar purpose, I try to get rid of at least one so that we don't have duplicates in our closet. The second item I'm going to talk about is this brown pair of pants, which I tried so hard to find outfits for. I was really excited about them when I purchased them. They were pretty different than anything else I had in my closet, but I really don't feel it fits my style, and that is why I've had a hard time putting different outfits together with it. And so instead of trying to wear these, I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of them. Lastly, I'm going to talk about this blazer, which I got as a gift. And I know a lot of us struggle to get rid of things that are gifts, but I am going to let this one go because I really don't wear it that often. I have another blazer that I like to wear more and that fits me a little better. So I'm going to get rid of it. And that's okay to get rid of gifts sometimes after we realize they don't work for us. And so if you are in that situation, please take this as permission to go ahead and let it go. So those are the items I'm getting rid of today, this entire pile, and stay tuned to learn more about who I am going to be donating these items to. It's really important to make sure that the items we donate go to a place that's going to dispose of the items responsibly. And so stay tuned for more on that. All right, so the closet is now done. I've gone through, I've decluttered all the items that I didn't want to keep, or items that maybe I wore pretty often, but that didn't really fit my style anymore. They were just comfortable, kind of lazy outfits. And so this is all that I am keeping. Now, when people think of minimalists, they may not think of this many items. Some of you might be watching and being like, oh my gosh, is that really all you're going to keep? And some people may be watching and thinking, that doesn't necessarily look like a minimalist closet. Well, for me, this is the amount of items that make sense. And that's when I talk about things being sustainable for you and the planet. This is where that sustainable for you comes in. I like fashion, I like dressing, I like outfits, I like expressing myself through my clothing. And so having 5 items in my closet really doesn't work for me. It's not sustainable for me. At the same time, I constrain myself and don't just splurge and have a ton of items in my closet. I constrain myself to what is really like a fifth of my closet in terms of hanging space, because I do want to make sure that I'm only living with the things that I need and love and enjoy wearing. And so I really like to share that because you can practice minimalism and practice, really living more with less. And it doesn't necessarily have to look like it always looks on a lot of the photos and documentaries and things around minimalism or decluttering. And so this is what works for me. This allows me to have my Peloton space. That's the other thing I'll note. For me, the most important thing, besides, really being able to express myself through my clothing and really having clothing I love, the other important thing for me is making sure that everything fits here. Because if everything doesn't fit here, I can't use my Peloton and I can't use this as a workout space and have my yoga mat here. And so that really keeps me disciplined with not overbuying, not keeping too many items. Everything needs to fit here. And as long as all the items fit here, I'm good. I'm happy. I'm content. And I feel like I'm really constraining myself in a way that is sustainable long term, but it's also good for me not keeping more than I need. The other thing I'll note is I love to organize things by color when it comes to a closet. For me, it's just easier to find items and remember where to put items than if I'm organizing them by, type. So jackets all together, shirts all together, regardless of color. Sometimes if I have a client who does want things to be organized by type, I'll organize it by type and color. So all the jackets together, but there will be, keep all the brown jackets together, then the black jackets together, then the white jackets together. But I don't really have that much of a variety of different types of items. So I don't have a ton of jackets to organize by color, a ton of shirts to organize by color. So it would not look that visually appealing for me to do it that way, but this way really works. I have a lot of black and I keep all the other colors kind of in a phased group. So the other thing that I would also note is I like to do a refresh pretty consistently, at least twice a year, if not more, just to make sure that I'm keeping things fresh, I'm paying attention to what I have, and that I'm not keeping more than I need. I find that doing a refresh pretty consistently helps to just create that mindfulness around what you're keeping. And then also, I like to change up the closet. So sometimes, like right now, I have all my black stuff here. Maybe in 2 months, I'll move all my black stuff to the other side of the closet and do a different color organization. I like to do that because it keeps things fresh, it keeps things new, and it reminds me to take a look at the things that I'm keeping and get rid of stuff as I don't need it. You don't always have to do a big closet purge. You can do a little bit along the way in between big purges. Today was my big purge, and I will definitely be doing another one within the next few months. There are a few other areas in my home that I am going to declutter and reorganize. So stay tuned, but thank you for watching, and I will see you next time on the Sustainably Tidy podcast.